was Lieutenant Colonel Ojukwu. The leader of the Nigerian army was General Yakubu Gowon.
Supreme Commander, Colonel Yakubu Gowon, wherever he goes, he takes a kind of mobile show of strength with him.
Do you think that it will be necessary to use military force to bring down Colonel Ojukwu's regime?
Yes, it is.
When the war started, I think the whole Nigerian army was less than 10,000. They recruited prisoners, they recruited area boys. You had no job, you want to join the army? Hey, even if you had only one eye, we just recruited everybody.
As father of the Nigerian nation, the British felt obliged to support it when one part of it was trying to secede.
We started buying American weapons and British weapons. Then we went to Russia. We had SMG, we had grenades, jet fighters. I went on one of the jet fighters. I won't do that again. When we got back to the airport, I couldn't stand on my feet.
Nigeria's planes, MiG-17s, were bought for cash from the Russians who want to get a political foothold here. The real prize in Nigeria, the overriding reason the major powers focus on this country's conflict, is Nigerian oil. Already, they are the 12th largest producer in the world. Conceivably, they will eventually become 5th or 6th.
When I think about the geopolitics, the whole colonial apparatus, of course, oil played a significant part. We didn't give much coverage to the extent that the federal armed forces were supported by the British. The firepower lay on one side, top of the line armored vehicles, and they had the aircraft. And the spirited, improvised guerrilla fighting was on the other side.
When I joined the Biafran army, called the Rebel Army, it was excitement in the air. Everybody was involved in the war. The women, the men, the children.
March on, young men, beloved in heaven, march on. Pursue the enemy, harass him, destroy the invader.
We are no Yuku Brigade country, cause we fight for Biafra land.
How old are you?
I'm 10 years.
10 years old.
Yes.
Do you know why Biafra is fighting?
Biafra is fighting for survivors.
Is it going to win?
Yes, sir.
I had just completed the school living examinations. I was at home. And they started running these civil defense groups. It was being held at, what do you call it, golf course. They gave us khaki trousers and shirts and Biafra and all the Rising Sun and the first cap. And for guns, they give us these carved wooden toy guns, you know.
Stand still. Bring your hand here, on this shoulder. You had to fight with whatever you had. Your hand, your head, your legs, anything you touched was a weapon. We didn't have much time. 2 weeks training. We are Biafra, fighting for Africa. We are Ojukwu, we shall conquer. We are Biafra.
So they were showing us how to crawl on the floor, you know, you go through the, you know, you don't stand up and walk, you lie on your stomach and you crawl along and you hold your gun.
Don't move.
And they'll be showing all these things and we'll be giggling away. We thought it was such a game and it was so much fun.
we're going to battle, we're going to war, I had to come out and sing. We're all going on a summer holiday. No more worries for a week or two. For fun and laughter through a summer holiday to make our dreams come true for a week or two. Biafra was a place where we made fun of everything, made fun of death. We ridiculed death. Death meant nothing to us.
Biafra was on the eastern side of River Niger, and Nigeria was on the western side of the River Niger. So I volunteered to go and guard the bridge and became the commander of the garrison at Asaba. On the 8th of August, 1967.
Commander of garrison on Asaba. Let's see if he will tell us what
I got information that Biafra was going to cross.
He will not.
I was in my bedroom at Asaba. Exactly 10 o'clock, as my informant told me, they knocked at my door. I was already expecting them. I had my grenades and I had my submachine gun. And then when they said they're looking for commander, I said, Commander, no day. That means I wasn't home. Then somebody said, that's his voice. They opened fire. It was a glass door, and they shattered the glass. And I opened my grenade. I lobbed my grenade through the shattered glass. And one of them said, Chineke. Chineke means, oh God. When an Igbo man says Chineke, he must have had it. Luckily, because they punched together, it killed them. The Biafran troops took the Nigerian army by surprise. Within 24 hours, they had captured over 100 miles. They had the River Niger. They had the Atlantic Ocean. They had escalated the war. The Nigerian army suddenly woke up to say, well, look, these people will get to Lagos in another week. They started blowing the bridges. And that enabled the federal troops to get organized for the counterattack.
Looking back on it, I think it was a fairly frightening experience.
This is the federal counterattack. The Biafrans have been spotted at a location about 6 miles away from here. They're thought to be coming in. The federal forces are replying now with howitzers.
This was, in a sense, old-fashioned warfare. Battles are fought on the roads. So you just go on down. Obviously, you put an armored car in front, and you go in front. You go on down until you're ambushed.
Our people here have for a long time been prepared for this eventuality. That the people on the other side would be surprised as to what they're going to get.
It was suicide. People were ready to die for the cause. We believed in it. And I don't want to die with fear. I want to die with a smile. So fear, I kill fear.
fighting in this war is sporadic. There are few fixed military positions, no real front lines, many hit-and-run raids by both sides, and an occasional big battle for a road junction.
Absolute chaos, 6s and 7s, no order.
Well, remember, I was 27 years old and I was afraid myself, but as an officer, I just had to make sure that I was not afraid. But I was.
I saw our officer shoot the first place prisoner of war. He shot him dead. Not everybody can.
Now you can see a Biafran officer. A Biafran officer, this guy now was a soldier in the Biafran confessing of shooting a prisoner dead. He's making a confession on this video on shooting a prisoner dead. This is intentional. This is intentional done. Why this person who was siding on the side of Nigeria, that man, that Yoruba man that was president, has never spoken about the atrocities committed by Nigerian government, and they committed a lot of atrocities. And by the way, the person that was led there in one of the videos that I saw, the person that was led there that was shot was a Biafran. This person they were showing was a Biafran that was shot. I have seen in that documentary where a BBC documentary where the man was asking them if they were going to kill the guy, and they said no. And when he left, in his plane, before he turned back, they shot him. They tied his hand and tied his leg. He showed that they were captured. But they never spoke about that here. But only to bring out a Biafran soldier to confess that they committed a war crime during the time of the Civil War. You see, all this is intentional. They are intentional. Just trying to blackmail and trying to change the narrative and put a picture, lay emphasis on where there is no emphasis. That's what they were doing. In as much as we know there will be mistakes on but the people that committed major crime against humanity were the Nigerian soldiers. So why are you highlighting Biafra? Why have you highlighted Biafra? Why is the Biafran soldier confessing of unnecessary things on the documentary?
To war to defend Biafra. Some people had their own motives.
My mother's village is an island surrounded by water.
I want you to pay attention to this woman. This is another blackmail. This is another blackmail in the Biafran war. You will hear what this woman will say, how she paints the Biafrans as aggressors, as the ones who created a problem. And more especially in her, if you understand her statement, it is to paint the Igbos as those who turned their own brother against it. I want you to pay attention to her own story. Pay attention to her story.
Water. We use canoe to go to places. We are from a minority tribe. That is Efik. That is the name of our tribe. I grew up with my grandmother. She used to take me to school, bring me back. I was used to sleeping with her in her room. My mother was not there. She was with my father. When the war broke out, the Biafran soldiers, they came, occupied the whole village, and then they went about, burning the houses until they got to grandmother's house.
Did you hear that? This is a Biafran lady who was serving on the side of Nigeria, an Efik woman. Her confession here is that when the Biafran soldiers came in Biafra land, that they went and began to burn houses. They burned the houses of her father and they burned her grandmother in the house. Biafran people in their own land, burning their own houses and their own properties. I don't understand how this kind of information can fly. And at the same time, we have heard of revelations, we have seen transcripts and information that came from Biafran activists who said that Nigerian soldiers were wearing Biafran uniform to commit crime in order to blame the Biafrans. This thing this woman is saying here is the reason some people in Niger Delta today do not want to associate with Biafra because of this blackmail we are seeing here. This is a blackmail that Nigerian government have been pushing for a very long time. And the BBC still returned that blackmail using a woman from EFIC or whatever. This woman served under Nigeria. And she said that the reason she joined Nigerian soldiers was because when Biafran's people arrived, after the Biafran declared, Biafran soldiers came. And how do you explain that Biafran people already, EFIC land is already part of Biafra? Biafra land, those places are part of Biafra. How do they now turn and begin to burn their own property and burn their own citizens, begin to destroy their own citizens? How does that add up? How does that story fly? And we have seen account of people on the front line who said Nigeria, just like the first flag, just the same thing Nigeria is doing today. They will go to Biafra land. They will conduct a false flag. They will create fake groups. They will use the mask of ESN. They will commit a crime. They tell you ESN did this. They will commit a crime. They tell you that Igbo man did it. We saw them enforcing it at home. They did it. Even during the time of NSAS, you saw Nigerian soldiers in NSAS. They used the Nigerian, in Lagos State, they used government bus to carry talks to come to attack people who were protesting. We saw it in Abuja. DSS themselves used their jeep to carry protesters, people to come and attack people who are protesting. So this false flag did not start today. And we still saw that confession. Actors in that war said that there were Nigerian soldiers. They took Biafra uniform and they go and attack Biafra people just to paint this picture that this woman is painting. And they bring that in their documentary. What do they intend to achieve with this? This particular information in this documentary, what do they want to achieve in it? Even when there has been a disclaimer that this very atrocity was perpetrated by the Nigerian government, Nigerian soldiers wearing Biafran uniform to commit crime in Biafra land in order to create division. And here they are still pushing that narrative. What do they intend to achieve? That is why if you don't pay attention to every detail in their documentary, you will think it is for good. It is not for good. It is not for good. It's to continue to push the same narrative that we're pushing for a very long time. Listen to her.
Because she was blind, she could not run. She could not escape like others. They burned her right inside her house, burned her to ashes. What came to my mind was, can I revenge? Can I revenge? I joined the army in 1968. They were calling us commando girls.
She joined the Nigerian army.
First women to join the Nigerian army.
A Biafran woman that she wants to revenge.
Today I stand before you to proclaim that our heroic youth in the various fronts have turned the tide of this war. Our gallant boys, our men tempered of steel, they have wrested the initiative from the Gawan enemy, and the Nigerian hordes are in trepidation and on the point of rout.
At first, the federal government in Lagos tried to give the impression abroad that this was just a little local tribal difficulty which would soon be resolved. But it soon became obvious that Biafran resistance was tougher than was first anticipated. Both sides demanded that oil royalties should be withheld from the other. The old colonial powers could not ignore what was at stake. The British supplied the federal side with arms and ammunition, and the French supported the Biafrans.
We were not going on a picnic, we were fighting. Ojukwu got mercenaries. That meant we went to war believing that they were better, and they were better.
This group was the most notorious of the mercenaries on the Biafran side. They included Armand Anarelli, a Frenchman who'd fought against his country in Algeria, Mark Goossens, a beer-drinking Belgian who could speak 3 languages, and Major Williams, the oldest white mercenary in the war, a South African, and a man many believed was mad.
Ojukwu said there is no power in Black Africa that could defeat them. That made us to panic. Soldiers were dying. The Biafrans knew our tactics. They knew where we were going to go. And after 6 months, we realized we had to change the plan.
General Gowon, do you think this war can go on indefinitely?
Well, first of all, I would like to say this, that no war ever goes on indefinitely. Sooner or later, it must come to an end.
Biafrans admit it is an oil war, at least in part. They know their country sits above what may be the richest oil reservoir in the world. And it is the oil, plus the ingenuity of the Igbo, that has kept Biafra running. In refineries, backyard stills like this, small, crude, hidden away in the bush, Biafra produces enough fuel to keep the army and the civilian population on necessary wheels.
Most of the oil discovered in Nigeria was in Biafra. If we were going to win the war, we needed to capture the city of Port Harcourt and all the oil wells to give Nigeria the economic advantage to prosecute the war.
The crisis is costing Shell BP millions of pounds a day. Nigeria is normally supplied from the £10 million refinery just outside Port Harcourt. Now it's having to import from other countries.
In 1967, I was made Chief of Staff of the 3 Marine Commando Division of the Nigerian Army. One of the primary goals of the 3 Marine Commando was to secure the Atlantic coast, 1,000 kilometers. So I had to lead my troops through the jungle for 480 kilometers where the Biafrans were not expecting us to come from. We were trying to encircle them. I advanced with 35,000 troops and 5,000 on logistics.
My job in the army is to take the pictures, to keep the record of what I saw. Photography is the best method to preserve a permanent record. I will process the film, develop it the same day. At that point in time, no family. My soldiers working with me are my family.
The elements were just the main problem of the mangrove forest. It was all jungle, wet, muddy, and was raining. You could not see more than 10 meters right in front of you. I needed to move fast. My troops went hungry. We were going more than 10 miles a day. We know we had to cross a big river. I gathered people together. I want to cross this river and I must cross it exactly 48 hours. We started looking for drums, started looking for planks and all that, and rope and nail. And we did. We built the pontoon and we crossed the river.
Many of the areas are swampy. Snakes are there, crocodiles are there. You don't know where they are. If you mistakenly step some, you are gone.
My soldiers were traveling light, only your ammunition and your weapon. We hadn't eaten meat for about a year. My soldiers killed an elephant. The natives did not know that there were elephants behind their yard.
We caught the elephant. I ate part of it. Very sweet. That is the first and the last time I ate elephant meat. I have not even seen an elephant again till today.
The natives at places gave us food, especially when we started moving into Biafra area. The chief made some soup and all that and fed my troops. The chief said, that's all we got here. I'm sorry that we didn't have too much of anything to give you. And I said, but I had eaten some meat. How did you do that? Or you have a cattle ranch? He said, cattle ranch. It's a Biafran that were killed in this area. Is that what I ate? He said, yes.
You can imagine. They were killing Biafrans and eating in the Middle Belt. This is the same people that will come and accuse Biafra and say that Biafrans are eating human beings. No. This one is a clear confession. You see him. That in the Middle Belt, they were killing Biafran people and eating them. So that they served them to soldiers who were passing through, the Nigerian soldiers. They used Biafran people, human beings, to cook for them to eat.
And all the soldiers looked at me. It was a human flesh, but I had finished eating, so I refused to vomit. My GOC asked me, I had you ate human flesh. I said, yeah, but by mistake. How was it? I said, it was tender. They gave me the rump. Then when he started talking, he said, is that all? I said, hey, Ogami, they gave me gizzard. He said, Biafra got gizzard? And all of us laughed.
The Biafran soldiers, they laid so many traps for the Nigerian troops.
You couldn't see even the enemy in front of you. You couldn't even see the road in front of you.
We're specialists in ambush. The Nigerians are coming in, and you're waiting for them. If you cough there, we strangle you. Absolute quiet.
They would just fire. We will hear the bullet, but we didn't see anybody.
You don't know where they are. You see red fire. Just from boom, it pass you. Take over! Take over! So when you hear that take over, the camera, you drop the camera and hold your gun.
We would like spirits. I was bad with the gun. I don't know how God did it. Never missed. Never missed.
They want to kill you. We must conquer this enemy. This enemy of Nigeria must be conquered.
The bombardment of Port Harcourt took a week. We infiltrated at night. And by morning, they just found that we had captured 13 million tanks of oil. Marine Commando captured all the oil blocks of this country. By the time they sent a counterattack, we were already established. They suddenly realized that Nigerian troops had arrived. After capturing Port Harcourt, we decided to have a victory party. We went to the best hotel in town. We had no glasses, so my boss was drinking from his steel helmet. I was drinking from the bottle. Brigadier Adekunle, he was a
You see, this is a very interesting listen, but I don't think we will not complete the analysis now because I have an appointment to attend. I will still continue from here tomorrow. But it's also interesting that in this documentary, I didn't see an Hausa man in this documentary. I've not seen the Hausas or the Fulani men who fought in this battle because Fulani men was there. So how come they have been exempted? It's just about the Igbos and Yorubas. What picture is the British trying to paint? Does it mean that the Hausas, the Fulanis did not participate in the Civil War? Does it mean that every Fulani man that participated in the Civil War is not alive anymore? How comes it's only the Igbo and Yoruba that dominated this very documentary? How comes? There is a picture that they intend to paint. They have always been smart, keeping Fulani away from the real problem which they caused. Trying to exonerate them in everything, making them innocent, and painting us as the aggressors as all the time, as the confidential, the troublemakers. That is why I say, telling the story of Biafra, British have no moral right to tell our story. And whatever they present is unacceptable. Today, tomorrow, next tomorrow, it will be unacceptable. My brother, Coach Hughes, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Good morning, Mazi.
You're welcome, my brother. Let's hear from you before I round up.
Good morning, Mazi, and good morning, dear fans all over the world.
Hello, my brother.
If you look around now, most especially what British and Nigerian government, what they have present for the world to come and look. If I look at this thing, wise, I'll still say, does it mean that all these people that they are using, does it mean that